Hi guys, welcome to Ask Jim episode number 67. So we've just finished recording today. We did an hour and a half podcast, which we didn't think of anything to talk about. We talked about a lot of stuff today. We went for a long time.
When you get me talking about all kinds of topics, which was about, today was about business policy and who stakeholders are and whether you should be looking for profits first or whether other people have rights, that kind of stuff.
It's a great insights from Jim, so if you want to check that one out, that'll be out probably tomorrow on Friday. And I want to give a couple of shout outs as well. So during the week you would have seen we've actually, I don't know if Jim knows, but we've had a few of our franchisees and franchisors been asked to do podcasts, which is fantastic, by just members of the public. So
really?
Yeah, Hader appeared on one called The Spark Experience, so we shared that on the page yesterday. I had listened to it. It goes around 50 minutes. It's quite interesting. It's a really good listen. And we also had another one, which was Dan Cahill, which was the franchisee from Jim's Mowing. He was on one called Bean Talking, and Bean Talking came out and interviewed you, and he's interviewed Dan. So we've got some franchisees and franchisors starting to get asked to do podcasts, which is great. And if you do have a podcast and you want Jim on it, please send us through a message. It's not that hard. Jim's happy to do it as well. And also we're going to give another shout out to our development team and our IT support team.
Yes.
Who this week, as I was saying to Jim before, has been getting absolutely smashed from pillar to post regarding the Jim's Jobs and the uploads and stuff like that.
What's happened, for those who don't know, is that we launched Jim's Jobs 25th, which is Monday last week. And people who've got like the old Jimbo, Jim's Jobs Classic, or just getting information from Jim's Online have had no problems at all. But apparently the formatized data is in all kinds of different formats, so it's quite difficult to get across. So the IT guys have been very busy. They've got everybody across except for two, I think, and for those we just got to pay for formatized, so we get them fixed.
Yeah, they're sort of slowly getting there, but I know that they're still overwhelmed a bit. So if there's be patient, they're trying their best. And their front end guys, unfortunately, don't make the program. It's actually the guys who make the programs sit away, and the front end guys who do a great job have been trying to help everyone out. So yeah, it's quite a big job though. Once it's done, it's done.
Yep.
Looking forward to it. So let's get into some of these comments here. So we've got people tuning in. So Sam Draper's gone, please be the naming rights sponsor of the A-League. The Jim's A-League's come up again, Jim. It keeps aside. Damon Papoulis is tuning saying good evening. Alex Griffin's gone, how it goes by in the A-League. Another A-League person. I'm telling you now, there's a movement for it online.
I didn't even knew there was such a thing as an A-League until now.
Oh, don't say that. We do know it. We know the Jim's A-League.
I am ignorant about sport. It's like from the old days when Jim's Mowing used to sponsor Richmond, and everybody was convinced I was a Richmond fanatic. I've never actually been to a Richmond game. In fact, I've never been to an AFL game. But because we sponsored it, they thought Jim must be fanatical. That's why he's putting all the Jim's money into it.
So we never know. We're going to keep doing some shirt reveals.
They kept on inviting me to all these president's lunches and stuff.
No interest.
No interest.
Dave McDonald's gone, hello, I'm back. I need to get up early tomorrow because I have to get the internet from one house. So this is interesting. So Jim's antenna's up in Horsham. He needs to get internet from one house to another, 22 kilometres away.
Wow.
I don't know how you do that, Dave. Put that in the comments. Jim's antennas, they do a lot more than...
On my farm, I've actually got the internet, which is mobile, which is a bit expensive, but it just comes over a mobile connection because it's too hard to get the line strung, apparently.
Then Hader Hussein's gone, hello, gents. So g'day to Hader. Thanks for watching. And we've heard the podcast. It's great. So make sure everyone is on the Spark Experience and Hader Hussein. It's a really good chat for around 50 minutes. It's really good. And the one thing that comes through is just how humble someone like Hader is, who's got the largest cleaning franchise in Australia. Yes. By wine. He's very humble in humility. Humble. It's a really great listen. I'd recommend it. Jake Bill's gone, does Jim have OnlyFans? And someone's gone, does Jim's A-League again? And then Dave McDonald's gone, wireless link from NBN link in Dimboola. So it's a wireless link he's setting up.
Yeah, wireless.
And it's right. From the NBN in Dimboola.
It seems to work surprisingly well. The only thing is it's quite expensive. Getting your computer upgraded costs a lot when you do it mobile.
True. And then Jake Beale's gone here, does Jim have OnlyFans? Jim doesn't have OnlyFans, but if you do pay for a subscription, you can maybe see his grass. You never know. So OnlyFans is a bit of a craze at the moment, Jim. There's a lot of Instagram models, all right, who, when the crisis has happened, they've lost a lot of sponsorship in that, and they have a thing called OnlyFans, and basically you pay a subscription to see some certain private, let's say, content of these people. So someone's asked if you heard that.
Well, I tell you what, as I said this morning in the league, if you want to hire me as a business consultant and mentor, I'm available at $1,000 an hour, or you sign yourself up to Jim's group and it's all free.
There we go. That's the first offer.
That's one-on-one. That's not just a selective. That's one each person.
We started putting that on the website. I'm redoing the website a bit at the moment. That's one of the things. One of the benefits I put is that in there. So that's a new one.
Yeah, I had a franchisee bring me up, a lady from Queensland, cleaning franchisee with a few issues, and I spent about half an hour talking to her and wrote this big letter which went off to the franchisor, just confirming certain things and looking at it, and then also copied it to Hadar, who if you're watching Hadar, you'll get the copy of it if you haven't already. But that's what I do. If somebody's got an issue, they contact me, and I'll do my best to sort it out.
And Aaron Putty's also watching. So Aaron was the antennas franchisee who came out with the temperature check station.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's a very good, interesting bit of technology, that. So temperature check station. Hopefully we're getting Aaron out again to do some more service code videos as well.
I sent a copy to my church too, actually.
Yeah.
I said to them, if you want to open up, here's a way of perhaps keeping the whole thing under control.
And that'll be at our training. But Aaron spoke really, really well. It's a really good video. So he's he's a natural for media, I reckon. So we're going to get him back out to do some more stuff, hopefully, for the other service codes really soon. And Caleb's tuned in as well. So everyone who's watching, there's 70 people watching now, which is great. Make sure you share the feed, which extends the reach for us. So hit share or give us a comment or question. We're going to get through as a lot of them as we can. Eric Jurgens has gone in. Get out of Caleb as well. Eric Jurgens. Hey guys, it's great to be out on the road today. So Eric had his van hit by a kangaroo.
Well, I don't know if the kangaroo hit him or he hit the kangaroo.
Sorry? He hit the kangaroo.
I think the camera coming and going wham to his van might be a bit of a problem, but that's not quite what happened.
He hasn't done that, touch wood. We haven't seen any complaints. He's going, hey guys, it's great to be out on the road again today. I've just got my back van for all the repairs and all the new signwriting done on it. If you ever want to feel good about yourself, just take a week off and wait for all the remarks when you come back. All my customers were so wrapped.
And Eric, next time you want to hit something, try a rabbit. It'll do less damage.
But he's on the side. I think he's on the side of the road today. Someone took a picture from Jim's dog wash or something and posted it off Eric up in his operation again. So that's great. Hopefully you recharge and refresh. And it's coming into winter as well. Yes. Hot chocolates, coffees galore.
Yeah, very nice hot chocolates.
Absolutely. Then Craig Watson's gone here. Hi, can I get them bear for mowing? Can I get a teddy bear for mowing? If you're a franchisee, Craig, leave that in there. But leave a question, Craig. If you leave a question or a comment, that's probably the best way to do it.
Make a smart question, like the one you asked me last week. Whether you could buy a
cheeseburger
in 1 AD in the Roman Empire.
Absolutely
That's a good question. They got something free, so ask a clever question.
But if you put one in there, Craig, no problem. I think you are a franchisee, so you're a fair chance. If you put a question or comment in there, we can absolutely do it. Then Jim's group, Benny Pickering. Hey Jim, what are your thoughts on Russia intervening in the Libyan civil conflict? 1.1 billion in counterfeit Libyan currency found en route from Moscow.
Counterfeit currency.
That's the most topical world news question we've ever had. Well done to that person.
Yeah, the Russians are really getting involved in these things, and now they're back in the rebel side, so to speak, which controls most of the country. Yeah, very interesting. Actually, the Russians sometimes show a fair bit of sense. I think actually that they've done the right thing in Syria. They've actually backed on the side of the government, which is helping to restore order in the country. And even though Assad's a nasty dictator, it's an awful lot better than the civil war that went on. And I think the trouble with the West is we're so hung up on humanitarianism and democracy and women's education and rights and stuff that we go in and we go to a brutal but stable government and we overthrow it and weaken it, like happened in Libya. And then you get this terrible civil war and hundreds of thousands of people die. It's very questionable. I think the Russians often have a better sense of what to do than we do.
Well, sort of at the moment, they're sort of sitting back, rubbing their hands together, China and Russia, with everything that's going on. We won't go into it too much, but...
Well, look at the mess the Americans and ourselves as their allies have caused in the Middle East. You had Iraq. I mean, can anybody possibly think that what happened to Iraq in the last decade or so, 20 years, isn't worse than what we had before with ISIS and the rest of it? And then it's an endless war in Afghanistan that keeps on going. And the Taliban now control most of the country, so nothing's changed. But you've got this constant war going on, and then what's going on in Libya, civil war in Syria, all these areas, the West has either caused it or we've caused it to happen. And it's great to say, oh yeah, we're all in favour of democracy and human rights, but in fact what that means is that millions of people are dying or starving or becoming refugees in their own country or fleeing abroad, all the terrible things that are happening.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and
I'm not sure that Putin's all entirely wrong in some of these areas.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Russia. I remember going to Russia for the World Cup. I had a great time. They're on the best behaviour then, but it's an interesting one when you talk to Russian people about Putin and stuff. It's quite interesting.
Well, I might make myself very unpopular by saying this, but sometimes too the Russians have a fair point. Like, the Ukraine traditionally belonged to Russia. And then Khrushchev apparently got drunk one night back in the 1950s and said, let's give it to the Ukraine as a present. Sorry, I mean the Crimea.
Yeah, the Crimea.
The Crimea belonged to Russia.
Yep.
And then he decided to give it. And it's majority Russian speaking. There are some Crimean Tatars who are sort of local, and then there's a few Ukrainians, but mostly it's a Russian speaking area with loyalties towards Russia. And Putin just went and took it back. Now, people think that's an outrageous breach of sovereignty, but on what basis does it belong to the Ukraine anyway, when most people would prefer to be part of Russia? And the same thing applies to the east of the Ukraine too, which is largely Russian speaking. There's a lot of people there who'd rather be with Russia. So we get so uptight about this thing, but in reality, the breakup of the Soviet Union was very messy. I'm not I have a lot more sympathy for the Russians than most people do, I must say.
It's a good country. I recommend if you ever want to go for a holiday somewhere different, Moscow is really cool. St. Petersburg's really nice as well.
Yeah.
It's a massive joint. Like it's hard to describe, and they drive like absolute maniacs. So if you YouTube world's funniest road rage, half of them are in Russia, but it's a great country. It's really nice, and you'll be drinking a lot of vodka. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
Thanks for that question. Ben.
Russians are good, actually. My son Andrew really likes girls from Eastern Europe. He's hoping to marry one.
just to say it like that. Yeah, I can completely empathise with after
like,
being in over Russia.
He likes the temperament. He likes those people. They're very fiery. They're very definite. They believe in something.
They're very cold in some systems. Oh, it's very hard to talk to sometimes. And it's in a Russian nightclub. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
They're very passionate. They really have a sense of their own culture,
they're very patriotic. They're very patriotic and proud.
Yeah.
Very strong people.
I think there's worse people around.
There definitely is. No, Russia's not a bad choice. I'll keep going on there. Thanks for that question, Benny. That was a very, very good one, that one. So if you are watching, guys, we're going to get to the questions and comments. We stuck on that one a bit long. We're going to whip through them, so make sure you leave a comment or a question and share it as well, because sharing extends the reach of it.
But that question can have a beard, though. I like that question.
Yeah, it was a fantastic
Or
one.
whatever you want.
All right, let's keep going on down here. Okay, so Dave McDonald's gone here. Kangaroos are a bit scary. I hit a bird the other day. He hit the ladder. It slowed down, but it wouldn't move. We get some deer on the back road to Hall's Gap. They are beautiful, majestic creatures, bit unpredictable, like kangaroos. Yeah, there's a lot of deer in Hall's Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of area up there. Then we got Eric Jurgens gone, hey Jim, you would be pleased to know that my son Luke is very interested in purchasing a mowing franchise.
Wow, yeah.
He's in the middle of looking at all the costs and talking to one of the franchisors.
Yeah, no, you emailed me about that too, so that's good.
On a side note, he's louder than me. I thought that might please you.
Is that possible, Eric?
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible at all.
That'd be good. A bit of entrepreneurial. And apparently his son, I thought he was only young, but he's about 30. So
a young fella.
Yeah.
Great age.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's on a winner.
A bit wet behind the ears still, but still. 30's okay.
And then Dave McDonald, what animals does Jim have on the farm?
Llamas. We've got llamas. We've got sheep. We've got chickens. Plus the odd the deer and the foxes and the rabbits and everything else too. But those are the three we actually want to have.
Okay. And you've been picking up I remember you saying for Jim at the moment, you've been picking up the llama poo or whatever it was?
Yeah, I got six rubbish loads, a big bin full of llama poo, put them on the veggie garden. It was great fun. It really is. Actually, last weekend I was out there clearing blackberries, which is really taking over in some areas. That's quite, get a bit scratched around. But it was fun.
The old blackberries, yeah, I can imagine. And let's go on here. Sam Draper's gone, when will you formally announce your sponsorship off the A-League? Very soon, Sam. It's under wraps. Under wraps, the Jim's A-League. I love it. And then Haydar's going, hello, Ismet. Thanks for watching. So Ismet's on as well. So from Car Detailing, I think this is going live into his page as well. We're cross-streaming to 30 pages at the moment. It's awesome. So we're going into that as well.
Actually, with the A-League, I think I'm really crumbling before that. We really have to sponsor the A-League. But you know, football's a bit too expensive. Let's sponsor the A-League for Tiddlywinks. Okay?
Well,
you know Tiddlywinks? It's like when you get this little plastic couch and you go pop like that.
Well, they might take it at the moment. They're struggling. They need some funds, mate. They need some funds.
If you can get me a sponsor with A-League for $10 or less, I'm happy to kick in.
That's the start.
So the A-League is fine. It just depends on the sport and how much they're going to ask from me.
There's the price. That's the starting price there as well. Matthew Dwyer, hi Jim and Joel. Can Jim look at having some? Here we go. This is a good one. Can Jim look at having some rooftop safety training conducted in-house? Given the amount of unserviced gutter clearing leads, both on single and double story, I'd love to see this training run. I believe there would be a number of franchisees that would jump at this, and I would also it would also help service a lot of the unserviced work.
It's a good idea, actually. I think we maybe should consider it. Though, of course,
you'd run it during training week, though, wouldn't you? That'd work the best, wouldn't it?
We could do it in training week, and it's probably a good time to run it. As a matter of fact, we could run a course. I think it's a great idea, actually.
That's on Matthew Dwyer.
Yeah, remind me about that after we've finished.
Well, I've got to write it down now. So gutter clearing training if anyone wants to do it for the safety for the OH&S stuff, and I to use the harnesses and that during training week.
We could tack it on to the mowing course.
Why not?
And then invite anybody to come along who wish to.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Mike about it, who obviously knows that sort of stuff, and Ben Ward and those fellas. But that's a good idea. Even
if they did an extra half day, like instead of leaving on Saturday as they do, they can stay on until a Sunday morning and do the course then.
That's a good one, Matt.
It is very, very good money. You can charge like $250 to do a double story garden. It takes about an hour. It's a very, very, and it's not physically hard. You just have to be properly put in place.
And we don't like the unserviced, so if they can help take the unserviced, encourage people to take it, that'd be great.
When you can make yourself like $1,000 a day doing a relatively easy job, and then of course what you do is you book it in for the next 6 months or a year ahead, and you build a run. Now if you've got a run that's making, $250,000 a year, and you want to retire down the track a bit, well then you've got something worth selling.
It's a great one, Matt. Thanks for that. I've actually written it down, so we'll talk about that afterwards. And then Dave McDonald's gone, Jim should buy the Holden brand of General Motors. It's going to be a sad day when all the Holden dealers pull their signs down.
Yeah, that is sad. We talked about that in the blog this morning. I think losing our manufacturing, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it'd be better if we actually made a bit more ourselves, maybe paid a little bit more for our consumer stuff. I mean, Holden's. My first car was the Kingswood, Holden Kingswood.
Holden Kingswood, the old Kingswood.
Yeah, back in about 1975, I bought my first car that got my first mowing run. So the old Kingswood, which was, by the time I dropped off at the wreckers, it was a complete wrecked.
Oh, I can imagine you would have got your money's worth of it. Did you put your mower in the back seat, or how'd you do it in the?
No, I'd put it behind a trailer.
Right.
But I ripped the back seat out to put more rubbish in.
Oh, really?
It was really, and then when people would, I remember somebody just backing into me one time, and he said, "Oh look, I'll pay for it." I said, "Look at the car, don't worry."
So hang on, you ripped the back seats out to do rubbish removal?
Well, I just put extra rubbish in.
Right.
I put rubbish in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I put more rubbish in the back seat.
There you go. Very smart. All right, here we go.
I made a lot of money out of that Kingswood. That was the basis of my entire business. My old Kingswood, the white Kingswood. Not that it was very white because I never used to wash it, but still, no silage in those days.
And then here we go, under another comment here. Angela Trevor. I inquired about Jim's Dog Washing and Grooming franchise. It's got a text saying Sharon would call. That was nearly 2 weeks ago. Should I be calling her? That doesn't sound correct because Sharon's a gun with sales, so Sharon would be...
Send me an email, jim@jim.net, and I'll send some blistering email to
But that doesn't sound correct, though.
It doesn't sound. She's very good.
A gun.
Maybe you got a wrong phone number or something like that. Could be a reason.
Maybe.
Normally would email you back too.
But the answer there is, Angela, send Jim an email at jim@jims.net. But that doesn't sound like... Sharon's the absolute jet, probably the best salesperson in the group.
I had a complaint just on Monday, actually. Somebody said they rang up about a computer services franchise. So I immediately got back onto the franchisor and also copied it to Mac looks after the division and said, what's going on? He said, oh, no, I got behind and so forth. So we got a bit of a serve. And of course, he got in touch with the franchisee in about 5 minutes. Yeah. So that happens.
But thanks for letting us know. And
Sharon is particularly good, though. It's
Absolutely.
very surprising. But of anybody, it'd be surprising for her not to get back to you.
100%. So we've got 72 people watching now, which is great. So make sure you leave a comment, share, guys. Share's a great one. Sharing pushes your stuff. And this goes for any divisions. If you're a division, share the post for your division. It makes it go more and reach more people for free. And that way, it's a great thing for you. All right, then Damon Popoulis has gone Jim's Russian brides. I love that comment. I couldn't believe he said that. Poor old Andrew. Hopefully never sees that.
I don't think he watches these things.
Hopefully not. But I can empathise with Andrew. He's got good taste. All right, Neil Simpson.
No, he just likes, everybody likes, like I like Chinese girls. I always did. My last 2 wives, both Chinese. There's got to be a pattern to it.
Everyone's got their own sort of type.
Certain kinds of cultures appeal to you. He's a very passionate, sort of fiery sort of character, Andrew, my son.
Yeah, he wouldn't take a backward step, the Eastern Bloc ladies. Neil Simpson, hi Jim and Joel. Neil from Jim's Mowing in Auckland, so thanks for Neil for tuning for Auckland as well, letting us know. Love NZ. Craig Watson's gone, what is the best franchise that you have set up? Is it mowing?
It depends on the person.
Watching.
Absolutely depends on what you like doing. The best franchise for you is the one that you love doing. If you're an animal lover, dog wash is best. If you love being outside in gardens, trees or mowing is best. Especially if you like heights, trees.
I think Craig's a mowing franchisee maybe. Are you a mowing franchisee, Craig? I think he's saying...
Well then hopefully you're doing what you love the most, because that's what counts. But I would not say that. I think personal training is fantastic. I think pest control is really good. We've got so many great divisions, but it depends on what you want. I get asked the question all the time.
Yes.
Where do you make the most money? And I said, it's not the right question. What do you want to do? And if you do what you love, you'll tend to make the most money.
There we go. And thanks to 80 people watching now, which is great. So let us know you're here for share or comment or like. We're going to get through the comments. Dave McDonald, working at heights is $220 from Pinnacle Safety. I have to redo mine on the 15th of this month. Can Jim's do any tongue twisters? E.g. So this is he's going, the cost around $220 they charge at Pinnacle Safety. Yeah. So I don't know how we do it or organise it, but it could be a goer.
I tell you what, I reckon $220 sounds expensive. I mean, we don't charge. If we had our...
Well, they've got to make money out of it, that's why they run the course. They're not doing it.
Yeah, so we don't want, instead of make money, we just want to break even. So having an instructor on, I reckon we could do it for a fraction of that.
There we go. So we have to talk to Mike about it. We've got it written down. Let's keep going here then. David,
you also clean my gutters next door too. They always need gutters, or gutters around here.
It's a full-time job doing
plenty of practice around this place.
100%.
Yeah. That's a really good suggestion. Who was
Matthew Dwyer. So I've got that written down.
Matt Dwyer ought to get a if we do that, we should recognise him.
So I think Matt Dwyer was a 10-year franchisee, left, then started watching Ask Jim, and then decided to come back again, and came back, and now he's doing really well. So thanks to that, Matt. James, here we go. Dave McDonald, can Jim do any tongue twisters? E.g. Peter, Pipper, picked, E.C. I don't know. Seashell,
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
There you go, a lot better than me. I can't do that one. Then James Millwall gone, Jim, what do you do to get rid of stress? It's a good one. We haven't had that one before.
I don't get ulcers. I give them. Actually, I have a pretty good life. I got a really happy marriage. I got a business that I really love and enjoy doing. I don't get very stressed. Even when the crisis came on, I mean, it was a concern, but I wasn't stressed by it. It just meant you got to prepare. You know what's going to happen. What's the worst that could happen? The whole company closes down. Okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
How do we react to it? I enjoy my life a great deal, and I don't tend to get stressed.
I'm going to drop a bloke in the office. There's a bloke in the office who's, when he's stressed, has Red Bulls, and it's probably the worst thing you can do. Those energy drinks.
Yeah, it's Matt.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Yeah. No, that
walks around bright red all day.
Masses of... Look, stress is... Doing what you love is really important. Doing something that you enjoy doing, that you believe in, where there's some purpose to your life. And that can be, being the best cleaner or the best gardener around. It doesn't have to be anything, supernatural. And having a great family life. Obviously, if you're that way inclined, going to church is a fantastic thing. We miss church a lot. I had my first life group, Bible study group last night for the first time in 2.5 months, which was great. We all sat around and had pizza in the conference centre. And prayed for each other and stuff, and that's great. So I think, I don't believe we should be living under stress. I think everybody should have a fulfilling lifestyle doing what you want to do.
Or you should be the one causing the stress. That's the other answer. All right, Eric Jurgens is going. Hey guys, we spoke last week and mentioned about chimney fires. Chimneys, we had chimneys last week. Monday night at 2 a.m, I was called out to a fire in Gisborne. Sadly, we lost the house, but we managed to save the parents' dwelling that was attached. It started because they were using a spit roast on the back veranda. And I thought it had gone out during the night. The winds picked up. Luckily, they woke up and the smoke alarm was sounding, which was great. Have a smoke alarm. For over 2 hours, we fought and managed to save the parents' dwelling. It's so important to make sure, certainly this time, that everyone checks all fires are fully extinguished before they go to bed, because certain can make all the smoke alarm batteries have been checked and all that sort of stuff. So
yes, absolutely.
You couldn't have given me a smaller comment than that one, Eric, but I understand what you're telling us there. So make sure you check. Smoke alarms is a massive thing. People forget about it, don't they, with the... Which divisions of ours do the smoke alarms?
Well, I know there's test and tag.
Test and tag. Fire safety, right?
Fire safety. It's big part of this is smoke alarms. They also refill those fire extinguishers,
blankets,
and so forth. And of course, the whole test and tag is about preventing fires. So it's a great division for it. So I'd love to. Actually, one of the things I've suggested to them in the past is that they do more into that kind of area, and more the domestic side too, helping people to be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have Jim's test and tag and fire safety, so that is a division of theirs.
That would be a great division, actually. Jim's safety. Making households safe, and that could be anything from pool fences to fire alarms to anything. Properly fitted car seats, for example, just keeping people safe.
Yeah, it could be like child-proofing a house, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
making sure TVs. A lot of kids pull stuff down. They pull.
Because the thing of it is, most of the time it might not make a difference, but you just have to save your kid from a toddler from dying from some unnecessary accident, and it's. How worthwhile is that? I think it'd be a great division to do.
All right, let's keep going on there. Then Ed Sutton's gone, hey Jim, do you still have your Kingswood?
No, I don't. I've virtually never sold a car in my life. I just wear them out.
Yeah, your money's worth. You certainly do get your money's worth.
I absolutely wear them out. I reckon I'm a great believer in old cars. I just think you drive them and drive them and drive them until they... And the thing is, if you buy a fairly common model like a Kingswood or a Volvo, like I used to have for many years, there's always spare parts because everybody else is trashing their cars. You pick up the spare parts free and you get it fixed, so they cost very little to run. And it doesn't matter too, because my farm's pretty rough, so I'm driving on these big rutted pathways, and it doesn't matter. The car's so old, who cares?
So we'll keep going on here. Around 4 minutes behind in the comments, which is great. So we're 4 minutes catching up, which is awesome. Leave a comment or share the feed as well. It really helps us. Adam Haman's gone here. Jim's mowing has changed my life. 20 years in construction in Melbourne was enough for me.
Wow,
that's fantastic.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, it is good. Look, it's good. I mowed lawns 15 years, as I often say, and it was a good way to make a living. I enjoyed it.
Not a bad way to make a living. We're seeing what it led to. It's not a bad.
That's right. Not everybody does the same exactly, but even so, just going out there mowing lawns and gardening and it's just the satisfaction of it and the flexibility and the lifestyle. And it was very good money too, actually. There's no way I could have earned that much as a student if I was just acting as a barman or something.
Thanks for that comment, Adam, and thanks for watching.
I actually bought a house when I was a postgraduate student. I managed to buy a house.
How good's that?
Yeah. I got a little bit of inheritance from my grandparents, but most of it was just mowing lawns and what I could do with that. How could you?
And where was that house?
Eltham.
On Eltham, yeah.
In Pitt Street, Eltham, just near the pub.
Okay, there we go.
Which wasn't a great place because people used to come out of the pub and they used to pinch my stuff. I lost a brush cutter.
What were they pinching? What were they taking? Your letterbox or something?
I lost a brush cutter.
You lost a brush cutter?
Yeah.
Jeez, imagine how valuable that brush cutter. This is that Jim guy's first brush
Well,
cutter.
I wasn't known in those days. But
Yeah.
I used to actually, it was quite a decent sized block, very smallish house. It's a nice house, red cedar and stuff. And I used to put the grass over the front fence into a big pile, which got to be, like that high eventually. And then I spread it out a bit and I had the most amazing mushrooms. And I wasn't married in those days, so my wife didn't object to the stink, which she would now.
We'll keep going.
But I never had to go to the tip with grass. I could always put it in my backyard.
That's very
or
true.
front yard in this case.
Very true. Do you still have that house or you sold it?
No, I sold it.
Sold it. Rachel Carnt's gone here. Jim, have you ever thought about more ladies' shirts for the women that will work in Jim's Mowing? So I think Rachel's a franchisee in Jim's Mowing in ladies. So is there any ladies' style shirts? I think she gave the suggestion before with a different colour collar, with a pink collar. Or could you do a pink shirt maybe as a high vis?
I don't know about pink because the trouble is you've got the uniform. But if there was a shape, actually, my wife is looking at uniforms right now, Lee. So maybe Lee can
So it's a more ladies' shirts for
look
women.
at that. Maybe a different style, something a bit more attractive. I don't know.
Well, it's different fits. So like if you buy let's say if you buy a soccer top, the men's version, the ladies' version, it's a bit more.
Well, I think we should look at that. A pink collar might be difficult because the colours are defined by the division, but the shape of it could be different. We certainly don't have any skirts or anything in gyms at all. So even if you want to go quoting in a skirt, you can't and still be in uniform.
But maybe how can we make it a bit more? I don't know. It's a good question. How can we make it a bit more depending on?
I'll ask Lee about it. Actually, put that down as a note. And
I've written down the note here. I've got some notes to do tonight, so I've written down here. Not just faking it. Okay, and Dave McDonald's gone. It's an 8-hour course to do the gutters. 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's a long time. I don't know how you can work it in.
Well, that maybe is a Sunday course.
Sunday course. Yeah.
We could make it an extension to the course. They can stay an extra day and do the working with height course. I think it's a good idea, actually.
It's not a bad one. It's a full week of training then, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we have to pay a few $100 to the trainer, but they're already here anyway, so it's not a big deal to put an extra day in. And if you want to do it, and then you could invite anybody to come along, and you could charge them, instead of charging $220, they might be charging, I don't know, $30, something like that.
Could be a goal. We'll definitely look at it. So we're 8 minutes behind in the comments. We're getting there. So Steve Nichols is gone. Jim, what were you really into as a kid? Never had that one either.
Dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah, I liked them too.
Crazy. Little plastic dinosaurs. I read everything I could about dinosaurs and history, actually. When I was 10, 11, we spent a year in England, and my father's a big history buff, and so I was always crazy about it. So history and dinosaurs were my two big things. I used to read up things like the Peloponnesian Wars by Thucydides when I was 14. It really had a huge effect, and a lot of things about the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. And so evolution, dinosaurs, history. And strangely enough, those two came together in my thesis. I came to developing a theory of history, which turned out to be biological.
Right.
And that's the basis of the research program. So those interests I had as a kid, back when I was like 10 years old, are actually the things that still define my main purpose in life now.
There you go. What was your favourite dinosaur as a kid?
Triceratops.
Like a Triceratops?
I love Triceratops.
Why?
I love Triceratops. Well, actually, one of the reasons is because with little plastic dinosaurs, the Triceratops was very stable.
Yeah,
It didn't fall over so easily. So
Right.
like the Tyrannosaurus goes like that and falls over.
Yeah.
So it was a very stable one. We used to have, my brother and I used to have dinosaur empires. Mine was called Tricerolumpia.
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 Right.
And his was called Blue Bearia because he had a blue bear. So
There we go.
we had these intergalactic empires, and we used to fight wars, mostly on the same side. And my sister, actually, she had this planet that she decided to develop where everybody was peaceful and calm and swimming in the nude and this kind of stuff.
Swimming in the nude, fair enough.
That was my sister's idea. So we used to invade her. So
No, you've invade the nude beach with your dinosaurs and your blue bear intergalactic armies.
that's right.
There we go. That's a good one. No, I was a Velociraptor man. I like Jurassic Park. Velociraptors is one I like. Very smart, very cunning.
Oh, the first time I
Very
ever saw
ferocious.
Jurassic Park, I will never forget. It's the greatest film moment of all time. Seeing dinosaurs, real dinosaurs, for the first time. I love that piece.
I love the movie.
I've got it on YouTube, and I must have watched it about 200 times. It's when
Yeah?
I've seen the film itself many times over. Just
seen all
love
of
that scene.
Have you seen all of them?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a great.
How could you have a person who was crazy about dinosaurs as a kid who hasn't seen all the Jurassic
Oh
Park?
no, I just had to ask him. Just had to confirm it.
Yeah, absolutely, I have. And mind you, that first one was something extraordinary. I love it.
I remember as a 4-year-old, I was hiding under the couch. My old man smuggled an illegal tape from Saudi Arabia. bootleg copy, bootleg VHS it was. It was
Really?
under the couch as a 4-year-old because the animatronics was quite realistic back in the day. And you had Jeff Goldblum out there with the flare waving it and away.
I love it actually. I love that South African guy too. You know, the one who got killed by the dinosaur eventually. And
the hunter.
Yeah,
the
hunter.
Velociraptor. Yeah, the good old Velociraptor.
It's just a good
movie.
great movie.
Absolutely.
But that scene with the dinosaurs, the first time when they're sitting down, you know, you have a T-Rex. Remember that with? I love that film.
Jeff Goldblum, the guy on the toilet sitting there, and he's sitting there in the toilet hiding, and then the T-Rex
comes up.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Adam Amar's gone. He's saying he's now been in Caloundra for 3 months and wish he'd started years ago. But better late than never. Anyone think about joining Jim to do it?
I've heard that so many times.
We're talking about this today as well, Adam. It's it's always what we hear. It's not a sales pitch. It's everyone as well. And then here we go as well. Peter Woolsey's tuning again. He's saying evening shifties. I've never heard being called a shifty before.
Evening shifties.
Yeah, I don't know what shifties mean.
Evening shifties.
I don't know. We're not cool enough for that one.
What's
there, Peter.
shifty about this? I don't know.
It's been a while since I've tuned in.
I'm the opposite to shifty. I say exactly what I think all the time, including things that I should never say.
He's saying it's been a while since I've tuned
My wife
in.
says I've got no off switch. I just blurt things out, even when I've got no sense. Or I'm very famous too for getting emails and then just passing them on to somebody like that. And they probably say, why did you pass that on? And I said, well, you didn't tell me not to. So now, if somebody wants to keep it secret, they put do not forward and big letters across the top.
Yep,
I have no sense of caution otherwise. I don't even think about what's going to happen when I pass it on.
Very true. Good to see you've been tuning in as well. It's good to see it's still going. Absolutely,
but
still
not
going.
shifty.
Not shifty. It's good to see we're still going. So thanks for that, Peter. Now Naomi Tanner's gone here. Hi Jim, I saw that I can become a dog groomer for 10k. Is that correct because it was 50k? Question mark. Well, I think they might be running a special or something at the moment. I don't know.
Buying the franchise doesn't cost you very much. It's mostly the trailer. The trailers are about 25,000, but they're beautiful trailers. We just basically killed any competition in Australia with the trailers because they're just magnificent. The gas heating of water and air conditioning and really beautiful design.
Oh, they're awesome, yeah.
They're very good trailers. They're the best. And people are just not buying anything else these days. So half our trailers go to people who aren't even in gyms because it's the best design. But that's the expensive part. But, you know, you can lease them and so forth.
It could be a special at the moment. I know there's specials, Naomi, with Dog Wash, so it could be one of them.
I know that because we've got so much work, actually. So it's a good time to buy, well, mostly most gyms franchises because we're so overloaded with work at the current time. And I know that they do offer some very good deals on Dog Wash. Because the great thing about it is when you're selling a franchise, one of the things you're always concerned about is you've got to have enough work, which means that you need to take some of the money to put in the advertising budget. But when you've got a surplus of work, as we usually have in Dog Wash, as well as in most divisions these days, you don't have to do that. So you can actually take the price down quite a bit.
There we go. So thanks for that one, Naomi. But definitely that sounds about correct to us. So please inquire and take some action on it because you won't regret it. Dave McDonald, we always check the Weber before we go to bed. I've never had it on the veranda or on the lawn, so it's a barbecue. Always checking the barbecue. And then Dave McDonald's gone, Jim's safety could mount TVs on walls. Jim's safety could mount TVs on walls. Yeah, but I think you guys do it as well, don't you? In tennis, hang the TV on the walls?
They do.
Absolutely. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's sick of it. Maybe it's not a paying enough job for the old David working at $500 an hour.
I just had a beauty today. I had a client got very upset because the franchisee put the TV onto a stand. He built the stand and put the TV under it. The TV stopped working. Right. This was in a business, and I was been in correspondence with the owner of the business, and he said it was working perfectly 2 hours beforehand, and as soon as he put it on there, it stopped working. So I said, well, you know, so he's going to get the guy to come and have a look at it, but it's like a $5,500 TV.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah. It's a big one, so, you know, it's going to be an awkward one. I'm sure the franchisee, I've asked him for his opinion, but may have to be an insurance claim.
Hopefully it's all right. Adam Haman's gone, the 6th day in Melbourne is great if you're having second thoughts. I advise going, it's regardless. It's an amazing week. So that's great, Adam. Thanks for your comments tonight. Really appreciate it. Then Luke O'Neill's gone, hi guys. Jim, keen to hear your thoughts on how much time today's mowing equipment saves when compared to the equipment you would have had when you were mowing.
Well, the mowers haven't been very different, actually. I was one of the first contractors to have a mass board, which had a blade mower, a single blade mower, which doesn't have the flexibility of hits a rock and stuff, it can break the shaft. But I never had that happen. But it's very good at picking up grass. But the big technology that came in since I started was the brush cutter. And I absolutely adore brush cutter. One of the first contractors to ever have a brush cutter because you could do things not just quicker but better. And that's the thing. It's not so much the speed, it's how great the job is. If you can do a job better than a client can do it for themselves, it's very easy to keep that as a regular client and charge a good price for it.
What about the ride-ons and stuff? Was there much difference in the ride-ons, the zero turns and stuff? Did you have them back then, or?
I never used a ride-on myself, but yeah, the zero turn ones are great. They are really. If you're going to use a ride-on, some of those new ones are much better, like the Walkers and the other ones they use.
Yeah,
sure.
Thanks for watching and thanks for that comment there, Luke. Really appreciate it. And we've got Dave Carroll going, Jim, what insect or animal do you wish humans could eradicate? That's an interesting. We never had that one before.
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes,
absolutely
right.
Mosquitoes. Actually, I read a book called The Mosquito, and it was talking about the whole thing and the terrible, how many millions of people die from malaria still, and things like yellow fever. It's a dreadful thing. And actually, one of the things they looked at is what would be the consequences of wiping out mosquitoes, and very little actually. They don't seem to play much of a role in the environment that you'd really miss a lot. Whereas other creatures like, say, wasps, people say, I could get rid of wasps. That'd be a terrible thing. Because they parasitize so many insects, and you get terrible. Or spiders, for example. People like to get rid of spiders. No, don't even think about it. Or ants. They're all very useful, but mosquitoes definitely could do without them.
There you go. Let's keep going with that one. That's a great question, Dave. Never had that one before.
Yes.
Then Dave McDonald's gone, I wish I owned every car I bought. My favourite was a Subaru Vortex Turbo XT. It just costs too much rego. I think we should pay $700 a year for a driver's license and about $50 for car rego. That's true. I can only drive one car at a time, yet the bulk of the rego is in the insurance, which is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's quite a frustration one. Then John Formosa, who's a franchisor of mine. G'day, John. Thanks for watching. He's gone, you need to be accredited to teach the course.
He's talking
Yes.
about David.
Oh, to David. Yeah, about the course.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get some accreditation doing. Once again, it's not hard to find somebody and pay them to do the course. But it's the fact that you can spread it over multiple people. And of course, because we own the training premises, it doesn't cost us anything. That's one thing about our training course. We don't actually charge for the site.
No.
Because it's all part of Jim's group headquarters. So we can actually, we keep the cost down to a minimum.
That's a good one. Let's hope we can integrate it or something like that. It's a good suggestion. And Peter Wolsey's gone, Jim, did you happen to watch the SpaceX launch the other day? I was absolutely blown away by their science and technology.
Yeah, that's very exciting actually. That's the first time that the private enterprise has put people into space, which is what you need. Elon Musk is certainly a visionary sort of guy, and what he's done. There's a book by Ashley Vance, a biography of him, and talking about how he achieved what he did and how he manages to build launch vehicles for a fraction of the cost of what NASA can do it for. It's great. It's great. I admire that, and the whole vision of going to Mars. It's a really big breakthrough, because while space launching is a government monopoly, it's never going to become great. But once private enterprise starts getting involved and improving the quality and taking the costs down, then space exploration becomes real.
The Mars will be interesting. Whoever wants to volunteer or go on that Mars trip, the first one, they won't be coming back. They're quite interesting.
I tell you what, when I was young, if somebody offered me a berth on that, I would have absolutely gone in a shot.
Really?
I absolutely would, yeah.
There you go. What about the mining? The mining will be interesting, because that's where a lot of the venture capital from San Francisco, especially those big tech companies, the asteroid mining.
Yes.
Because there's like $1 trillion worth of platinum, let's say, in one of those things. So it's quite interesting.
Well, not only that, but you can build space industries too. Because the hardest thing about space travel is it's the first bit that's the hard part, getting out of the atmosphere. From there, getting to Mars is relatively cheap.
Yeah.
But if you can start to build things in space, or have the moon, would be a great place to settle, because it's so close to Earth. To settle.
Oh, I thought you to sell. It'd be hard to sell the moon.
No, to settle a colony on the moon makes a lot more sense, in a sense, than Mars does, because it's got plenty of sunlight. It's very close to Earth. It's got a very, very limited gravity, so it's easy to get stuff off. I think I could see mining going on the moon.
Jim's Space Industries.
Yeah.
Jim's mine site cleaning up there. You never
I haven't got quite the money behind it, but
anyway.
I'm fairly well known, but I'm not in a rounding area on someone like Elon Musk's fortune.
There we go. So we're in a nice behind the comments, guys. So we're catching up. So make sure you share. We've got 90 people watching, which is great. So thank you.
That's got some good questions today.
That's been fantastic. That's been really brilliant. So trying to whip through them, guys. 9 minutes behind, so we're going to get to your question. Make sure you share the feed. That helps us out. Paul Ryan. Hi, Jim and Joel from Healesville. Enjoying the show. I just got back from hospital today. Surgery went well.
Oh, yeah. Jim's preppers.
And missed the laughs and learning from last week's show.
Yeah.
We had too many laughs this week. It's been a lot more this week.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward. We're hiring a new website designer person to get on to and getting Jim's preppers sites done. A lot of the work's already been done, actually, and we're going to be out of a site where people can actually find out exactly how much food they need, of what kind, and then how to prepare it and everything, and then we can actually do it all for them.
So hopefully, good glad to hear your surgery went well, Paul, and thanks for watching. And Dave McDonald's gone, I was fixing some Christian TV on Tuesday, and they were saying that dinosaurs went extinct because they didn't fit on the ark. What do you think killed the dinosaurs? I love that comment.
I think I'm rather in favour of the asteroid rather than the Noah's Ark one.
Yeah, I think that's a bit more logical, that one. Yes. It's quite funny, that one. Mel Butler's gone, speaking of Jurassic Park, what are your favourite films, Jim? From Mel Butler. Favourite films? You've got a heap, don't you?
There's so many, actually. I've got a list here. I like Dances with Wolves. I've seen that many times.
You always say Dances with Wolves. I think we've picked that one.
That's one of my favourites.
So Jim's on the phone. You got a movie list, do you?
I keep it there because actually one of the best things to look for if you want to know whether you like a film is what you've liked in the past.
Right.
The first Spider-Man is good.
Yeah.
Gladiator, I've just seen again for the umpteenth time.
Love Gladiator.
The Family Man, you know Family Man?
What's Family Man?
That's a film about a guy who's actually a swinging bachelor in the city.
Right.
And he goes to an alternative reality where he's a family man, but a lot poorer.
Okay.
And
that sounds about right.
And then he turns around in the end when he actually switches back. He's desperate for his family, which he's lost, and it's all about values and family as opposed to wealth, which I really really love. Chariots of Fire, love that film.
Chariots of Fire, yeah.
Yeah, Amazing Grace, obviously that's a wonderful film about William Wilberforce, a person I admire. Jurassic Park's in there. Love Last Samurai, all about the samurai discipline. Shadow Warrior, which is a Kurosaki film. Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
Kenny, which is about the plumber.
You like Kenny?
I love Kenny. Kenny.
Was he say he lays it fast in a one-arm bricklayer in Baghdad? Something like that. So you got a good one-liners, Kenny, the old Shane Jacobson.
I love Kenny because he glorifies the ordinary Australian guy. He's a really decent guy. People look down on because of his job, which is to do with cleaning toilets and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he's just a decent working person. And this sense of slobbery people have about, you've got to be white-collar management and stuff. And I love Kenny because it glorifies 12 Angry Men, which is really great.
Yep.
Saving Mr. Banks, which is about the Mary Poppins things. About Time, which is also about time travel.
That's good.
You know that one?
So is it Justin Timberlake?
Nah.
I don't know what the movie that is.
Rachel McAdams was the girl in it. It's about they have this family thing where the men of the family can go into this like closed space and clench their fists, and they can go backwards in time and change the past.
Okay.
And one of the things he does, actually, his sister gets into a real horrible situation with his abusive boyfriend, and he goes back to change that. But in doing so, one of his children doesn't become.
Okay.
Never comes into being. He changes, so he has to go back and change that, even for suffering his sister. This whole idea about changing the past, it's just great. Some of All About Fears, I love that, about the nuclear attack on Baltimore. The Iron Lady. There's so many, actually, but those
we're
are
going to get it and we're going to put it as a post. Why not? Jim's favourite movie list. Kenny's the one that threw me for... I had no idea. I'm glad you like Kane. There's a good actor, Shane Jacobson. He's a good Aussie man.
I think they're wonderful, actually. I thought of contacting them and see if they do a film on Jim's or something like that.
Shane, who would play you?
I think that...
We've talked about this before. I remember we've spoken about this a long time. And one of the first Ask Jims we spoke about who played. I know your answer. You gave me an answer. Who would play you in a movie? I know who you said.
I said Pierce Brosnan.
You did say Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because he looks nothing like me, which is his whole advantage, of course. He's a good-looking guy, whereas I'm not, so...
We'll keep going on here, guys. We've got a lot of questions and comments, which is
I don't know
great.
how to look with a beard, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. There we go. I want to pass on a big thank you for this, Eric Jones. I want to pass on a big thank you to Sylvia, who helped me out when she heard what I was doing with delivering fruit to one of my customers. She put me in touch with Frank from Jim's Home Fresh, and we are now going to use Jim's Home Fresh to supply all the fruit that I use. I actually hadn't thought of it using Jim's Home Fresh till Sylvia suggested it. By the way, Joel, I use the dictate button on the computer so I don't have to type anymore. That's probably a good thing. That's why the comments are so long. Because you can just speak them out, which is
no wonder.
There we go.
Take it away. We'll never hear the end of it.
I was trying to work out how quick you're typing very quickly.
Home Fresh is Home Fresh. We've just got our first time this week since crisis. We've got our first box of fruit.
I took around.
And you can already see some of the junk food disappearing from the office.
Yeah, I'll try and bring it back, but we'll make sure we check it.
Yeah, you just got to get rid of it. I do my best when the junk food comes out. I come along and eat it so that it won't tempt anybody else.
Oh, so altruistic, Jim. Very altruistic.
I'm just full noble.
Andrew Rossiter has gone, great, thanks.
I'm terrible with food though. My daughter, who's staying with us, my older daughter, she cooked brownies. Like they cooked a whole square, and I think I must have eaten half of the plate.
And we're going to keep going, you guys. So Andrew Rossiter has gone, great, thanks you too. Now I'm watching Jurassic Park from Andrew Rossiter. He's a franchisee Mowing. Good movie. I'm going to rewatch it myself. Then Adam Haman's gone, Mike is great, but Ben still gives him a run for his money. Yep. Maybe that's in regards to the training. That's from Adam. Mike, who do you reckon, Mike or Ben? I know Mike stole the course from Ben Ward, but They both have good presenting styles. I like watching their styles. They're both different.
They're both good.
And then Corey Andrews, what are the best apps on your phone, Jim?
The best apps.
Yeah, that's a good question. Never had that.
I tell you what, I love Audible.
Never had that one.
Never had that one too. That's interesting.
Now, are you going to say the corporate political one that you should say? What's the best apps on your phone?
I like Bing.
What about Jim's Jobs? Was the one I was angling for.
Jim's Jobs is good. It's the best.
Yeah,
Jim's Jobs absolutely the best. Yeah. But apart from that,
yeah.
I love Audible. Love
yep.
Audible. Weather is useful. I know what my farm's going to be like. Netflix we use.
Yep.
Because we get that through the phone. Gmail, because I can get my emails when I'm on the go.
You got Spotify there as well?
I got Spotify, yeah. Don't listen to that quite so much. Obviously, the calendar's really good. So, yeah.
You got Tinder as well?
No Tinder. I don't get involved in social media. I'm completely a dinosaur when it comes to social media. I love parts of the internet age, but not social media.
I think you'd be probably one of the most listened. Let's say if you went through your Jim Penman audio files for Audible, you'd be right up there, I reckon. You'd have to be right up there in the top people who listen to it. You'd listen to a heap of it.
Well, actually, I probably listen to or read 3 or 4 books a week.
That's ridiculous. So you would be definitely up there. You have to be up there.
I'm just about an eighth of the way through Rise and Fall of the Third Reich now, which I've never read, William Shirer, which is really quite fascinating.
So we're around 10 minutes behind in the comments. Let's keep going, guys. Thanks for your comments and questions. I'm not ignoring you, but just catched up and some good discussions from your questions. They've been awesome tonight. Make sure you share the feed as well. That really helps us out.
Yeah, very good questions. I like the very questions.
They've been awesome tonight.
Keep on going.
Dave McDonald, $500 an hour. I'm on 1,000 now. Dave McDonald's $1,000 an hour. We finally got your rate out of you.
Well, it didn't charge me too much anyway, so...
yeah, I'm lucky. And you, Rano's gone, Jim, can you draw any parallels between the ancient rites like the ones at Caesar's funeral or the Nika rites versus the rites we're seeing in America now? And do the ancient rites give an insight as to how the US rites will end? Very good question.
Well, it's a very sad thing, actually, because that's what happened in the late Roman Republic. They'd been a republic for 500 years, and it was the chaos in the city that in the end brought into it. Rome became ungovernable. And I think it's very worrying what's going on in the US right now. I mean, I admire the United States in so many ways. They've been a great force for good in the world. Now you've got in my opinion, and I'm on the conservative side of politics, a pretty appalling leader over there with Trump. But I think that the right's the biggest effect they're likely to do is to get him re-elected, because in times of chaos, people turn to conservative leadership. That's what happened in 1968 when Nixon came in, and also in 1980 when Carter was a good man.
Jimmy Carter. Yeah.
He got kicked out and Reagan came in. So I think that's what's going to happen. Actually, I would much rather he lost, quite frankly. But I think that the rights may push him over the edge.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but that's a really good question from there. We'll keep going because we've got so many questions and comments. David Demonsky's on again. So when's Jim's doing the A-League again? Love that question from Dave.
As I said, tiddlywinks, maximum $10. A-League.
Negotiating started. Come back to us. Ed Stullen's gone. Jim's tree lopping. We do have Jim's tree and stunt removal.
We do, yeah. It's a good,
which is a part of that.
It's a very good one too. Very good earner.
Yeah.
Got to have a good head for heights though.
Very true. All safety as well.
Very safety.
Eric Jurgen's gone. The best thing about Jim's franchise is the support you get from your fellow franchisees. Ricky got stuck the other day when she was grooming a dog and wasn't able to finish it. She made a quick call to Michael from Gisborne, who was able to come around and help her out. That's awesome. Fantastic cooperation and support from your fellow groomer. You don't get that when you're on your own.
Yeah.
We didn't pay him to write that testimonial. He's just done it himself.
Oh, it's a great system. Like we booked in our dog and to get washed because the previous groomer left, and then I got a call from Sharon. She said, "Listen, your dog is too difficult. Don't give it to so and so." So she got Jen to come in. She did it yesterday. Beautiful job.
He's a very difficult dog, the old Apollo.
He's a notoriously difficult dog, mate. Only about that big, but very
very feisty.
Very feisty. Yeah, he's like this guy.
No, I think I was going to say the other way around. And Dave McDonald, Jim, we have a John Deere lawnmower at my miniature railway. I was mowing the lawn the other day, and the front leading wheel kept digging in. How do I stop this? How do you stop a ride on my wheel digging in? I'm sure there's a lot of mowing guys watching.
I think your ground's too wet. That's most likely got to be the problem with it. If your ground is wet, we've got a problem in our backyard, but there's too much water on it. It's very difficult to mow. And if it gets too wet too, it digs in, which is not only difficult for the mower, but you can also make a nasty chunk in the lawn. So you've got to look at drainage. That's my advice.
I know there's a lot of mowing blokes on here watching, so one of them would probably let you know, David.
But coming up into winter time, drainage is a very good business for mowing guys, and it's not that difficult to do. You just got to get some training or learn how to do it. But you basically dig a trench, and you put some Aggie pipe in and some gravel, and then you cover it up, and that drains out the water and takes it away, which you probably should do in our backyard because it's very big. So yes, I think that's your major issue. You've got to get your drainage better.
And then here's one from Bashal Roker. How much is a Jim's Pest Control franchise making money in Sydney? Is it possible to make $1,500 a day in summertime?
I have no idea. What I suggest you
not bad cash if you can. If you can do it, why not?
What I seriously suggest you do with any division at all, it's difficult for any franchisor to give you precise figures because it'll vary so much. What you should do is go and investigate, talk to the franchisor, get a list of the franchisees in the region with their phone numbers, which they have to provide you, any division, and then you ring them and you ask them this question. And that's your best answer. Don't listen to someone like myself who wouldn't know, and don't even listen to the franchisor who can maybe not know either. Talk to the franchisees themselves.
And Linton's obviously watching as well. Linton's a franchisor in Penman and Pest Control divisional manager, so Linton can help you, Bashal, as well. If you want to send him a message, Linton can tell you everything you need to know.
You will find mowing guys making $1,500 a day. It's not difficult to do. It depends on how good you are at doing the job.
You'll work your way up to that eventually. It's not from day one, but
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you'll work your way up to that. Then Sasha Gardner's gone here. Hi Jim, Sasha Gardner here. I'm 2.5 years into running my own mowing, gardening, landscaping company in NZ. How long did you work until franchising, and what type of internet advertising would you think is best? Cheers, Gardner's Gardening Limited.
I mowed lawns 15 years, basically starting off as a student, and before that I had a gardening business for a few years too. So 15 years as a non-contractor, first part-time and then full-time. And as far as media is concerned, the best thing you can do is use the free stuff that's around, like Facebook and Google My Business and those kinds of things. And then you use something like Google AdWords and those kinds of areas. But social media is very worthwhile getting into it. There's quite a bit of information on how to do it around. We teach our franchisors a lot about this kind of stuff too. But it's all on the internet these days. But the best results we've had is from the video team. We've actually found that, for example, since we've been doing all this social media, the hits on our organic hits on our
traffic's definitely gone up.
It's gone up dramatically. Yeah. It's like double from last year. Or
yeah, it's definitely gone up a lot. Definitely gone up a lot, and it's a good material, and that will be legacy content for years to come. It'll be good, and we can transcribe it and make articles and stuff. So
but Facebook is very big, is very, very good. It just takes you just get some advice, read up some stuff, get books on it, look at videos and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff around all over the place. You can learn how to do these things. Gary Vandercheck is a good person to talk about social media too.
Absolutely.
That's from the point of view of more of running your own brand, but he talks about the different kinds of different things like Instagram and Facebook and all the different ones that are around these days and how you can use them.
You can build it. You might think your subject is boring, but it's not. There's people that say bonsais. You would think bonsai, right? Bonsai tree. There's people got massive following of bonsai experts online and make a heap of money out of it. If you're good at what you do and you're expert and you share it every day and you're consistent, you can build a nice following there. People are interested, like how to get a straight edge in a lawn, this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
People are very interested.
Do your own videos on how to do things.
Is the way to go.
We actually do very well with our client newsletter, and what we do actually in the client newsletter, then it's not an advertising thing. What we do have a series of articles submitted by different divisions on useful information for how people can do things.
Yeah, and we show behind the scenes of our franchisees doing work and show them why they're experts in what they do, and hopefully they'll use this. Then Dave McDonald's gone, Joel better send a message to Wade, make sure he's okay. So Wade's not on tonight, which is a bit of he's used this for the prizes. He's got every prize and he's not come back. I feel used. I don't think about that.
Very shameful, Wade.
Yeah, very shameful.
You really should be ashamed. If you are watching by any chance.
Yeah, I feel used, Wade. I'm not liking that at all. Ed Sutherland, Jim's mining in space, very expensive. Then Linton's replied to Jim's group, franchises in Sydney start from $17.5 grand for territory. Then licensing, training, uniform, extra Canada for extra $15K. But if you're going to make $1,500 a day, you pay that back very quickly if that's the case. Way to go.
If you do.
You can though if you work.
I would be very careful making statements about earnings.
True.
Sometimes it depends so much on the individual. What I say in training is that we would always aim for making $60 an hour. But it doesn't mean to say you're going to make it in your first month. In fact, most people don't.
It's not a guarantee.
It takes a while to pick up how to do the business properly.
Very, very true. And Sasha said to you very inspiring as well, so that's really good. And thanks for leaving a question as an independent gardening business as well.
I mean, good on you. If you've made it by yourself, you've beaten the odds. There's a guy in my church, actually, Peter, who's actually I've been giving advice to over the years, and he's actually managed to develop a halfway decent business independent.
Did you charge him at all?
No,
he's
my church brother.
There we go.
I just help him, and when I come to church, he asks me a question about GST, or sometimes he rings me up and stuff. I
think you should be charging this bloke $1,000 an hour consulting rate. Bang, till he comes on.
We Christians stick together.
Taylor Alcock, hi from Taylor and Jane in Goulburn. So g'day to Taylor. And how's everything going with your app and stuff as well? You use it for Jim's cleaning. I'd love to know. Ed Sutherland, Jim's mobile toilet cleaning. I think, yeah, we have that with cleaning division can do mobile toilet cleaning for sites and stuff as commercial work sites and stuff. So we do have that. Then David McDonald's gone, Jim's Home Fresh no longer delivered to Horsham. How sad. It must have been delivered into Horsham.
Well, I'll tell you what, David, who do you know up there who wants to run a branch of Jim's Home Fresh? That's what I'd like to spread it. It's such a fantastic business. They've done so well in the crisis. Great stuff, great quality fruit. Everybody who uses them raves about them. We'd love to see it spread all over the country.
Why not? It's a great product and it's good people and it's the main thing. Taylor Alcock's gone, we've been using the Jim's Job app and found it to be great so far. Cannot wait for the updates to include QuickBooks.
Good,
thank you. QuickBooks on the cards?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. There you go, Taylor. So Taylor's in the cleaning division.
But our aim is eventually that you won't need QuickBooks or Xero for most franchisees. We want to. There's internal stuff in the program which you don't find with products like Tradeify. And we've got this huge process. We're committing hundreds of thousands of dollars to ongoing development. So we're going to have more and more useful stuff in it.
Then Frank from Home Fresh is jumping on speaking to Home Fresh. He says, hi guys, good speaking to Eric from Mobile Cafe today. So many decent people involved with the Jim's group. Rare in today's business environment. Absolutely. And a very sharp profile picture there, Frank, as well. Very sharp one you've got. Then he's going, I have to ring. Then David's jumped in saying, I have to ring Frank from Jim's Home Fresh tomorrow. Why not? Absolutely ring Frank and ask him. He's a good fella. And also Taylor's gone, also thanks to whoever lifted one of my reviews from 4 stars up to 5. This has helped us keep our rating of 4.9 stars.
That would be me.
That would be you.
Yeah. What I do is I go through every day, usually more than once a day, and I check it. And if somebody says good job or great or lovely person or polite or anything, it's 4 stars, change it to 5. Actually, I can give you some information which even Joel probably doesn't know about. We're going to try... This is scary.
It sounds like, yeah, here we go. Right.
What does a 4-star rating actually mean? It's often I change them. If I see them, most I change to 5 because they're really just... it's good, but so what we're actually looking at changing it, instead of having numbers, we're going to say G, which is good, which should be 5-star, B, which is bad, which is 1 star, O, which is okay but some issues, which is 3-star, and then we're going to have S for stop and P for price.
Right.
And A, ask me in a week. So we simplify it down to make it easier for people to understand what it is, and it still translates into the numbers. But you've got to let us unfair statements, because 4 stars are often, a person who puts 4 stars down, what do they mean? If there's no comment, we don't know how to interpret it. But it's so unfair because it might have been great service with nothing wrong with it. But somebody who's got like a 5.0 rating goes down to 4.9, which is very painful.
Now, what have you based that on? Because if you don't know, is there any other similar programs that use the similar system you do?
No, there isn't.
So that might be an interesting thing, because people are conditioned, let's say with Uber Eats, right? You have the 5 smiley faces.
I know, that's why we use 5 stars,
right.
but it doesn't fit very well. What does 4-star really mean? Is there a serious issue, in which case it's 3. If it's basically a good job, it's a 5. See, a 5-star rating means that any complaint associated with it is just ignored, wiped out. Your client's happy. So that makes a lot of difference whether you get 4 or 5.
So when's this development going to be happening?
Within the next week or 2.
All right, well, we'll have to do a video about it and explain it.
Well, we're going to give it a try and we're going to see what happens. But because I go through all these complaints all the time and stuff like that, I just think it'll be fairer. It's also, I actually because I actually booked, I don't usually when I want a job done, I just go direct to the person. In this stage, I actually did it through the online system. And then I got the survey back.
Right.
And I was looking at how it what it's like to actually get that as a client, and it was interesting. And I think a simpler form, G good, B bad, is easier for people to understand.
Okay, well, let's see how that goes, and hopefully the franchisees like it.
We can always switch it back if it gets into problems, but I think
True.
it'll avoid some of the unfair things, the 4s in particular.
Well, let's hope it does. Then Christy Jering, that's a great development. There you go, something new. That's why you got to watch every week. It's more of a news thing for franchisees. It's the best time to watch. All right, Chris DeGering has gone from Mobile Tyres. Can you please add product/inventory control to Jim's Jobs? We over at Mobile Tyres can't use it at the moment.
Yes.
I'm sure other divisions that sell products will need to. Absolutely. I saw your comment from the group and I told Jim about that.
It's actually in the planning stage. In fact, we've just arranging right now to do a $120,000 contract with with people in India. And this is one of the changes we're asking them to make. They'll be over the next few months.
That's the next thing on to come on there. So absolutely,
inventory is most definitely in there because a lot of divisions need it.
Antennas, yeah, they all have stock antennas. Every division has some stock, right? So they could use it in some way. So absolutely. Steve Beck's from Warriewood Shearing. So Steve Beck, I think you're becoming a Jim's franchisee. So thanks for watching, Steve. Now Ed's gone. Are Jim's on podcast 1? No, we're not. We have our own podcast on Anchor, and it's all on YouTube on our Jims.net page. We have our own podcast. We're on podcast 1. I don't know if we're not that popular yet. If we are that popular, we need to get on there. It'd be the way to go. All right, let's keep going. We've got a lot of comments and questions, which is awesome. Steve Beck, hey guys, does gyms have any affiliation with LDV vehicles and other discounts for new franchisees?
I don't.
We do have supply deals with a lot of companies, so I don't know.
You can actually get basically fleet discounts with all the major brands in Australia. There's a new one coming out in the franchising newsletter. There's this
Mercedes,
Mercedes Ute, which
$118 a week for the
that's going out. So people come to us all the time with offers. So what we basically do is, what's the best you can do? If it's not good enough, we say go away, come back with something better. If it's good enough, we'll promote it.
I think with LDV, I hear that name mentioned a bit, Steve, so I dare say there's something in place. So
I'm pretty sure we've got just about everything. And our aim is that you can buy a vehicle through gyms, by being in gyms, the same price as you could buy it for if you had 20 vehicles already.
Then Taylor Alcott's gone, there are discounts available. The details are available in the documents section of Gyms Online. They absolutely are.
Yes.
And that document's not easy to update, though, unfortunately, Gyms Online, so it might be a bit out of date, but we've updated it today. And Daniel Mills goes, keep going strong. Then Eric Dragons goes, hey guys, if anyone's up in Mansfield this week, and I'll be at the Mansfield Bush Market at Saturday, call and grab a coffee. Then Wage tuned in saying, hey champs, get over
Wade, you're here!
He's back online. You didn't use me, Wade.
You're not ignoring us. Good.
He's gone bang with the comments, so we'll go to a few of them. Luke O'Neill's gone, loving all the social media content coming out, guys. Keep up the good work. Jim, I love the fact that you mentioned Gary Vee. So Luke's a Gary Vee fan, so are we. So
yeah, I know. Joel recommended it to me and said you should read this. And about 2 weeks later, I came in and I sat down and said, okay, we've got to do this and this. He said, you've been listening to Gary Vee, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly right. I was telling him all this stuff as well, but it's good. He comes from in there, so it's been great. But I think it's Gary Vee. We definitely
that was Crushing It. The one
Crushing It. Absolutely.
The one on my audio.
Oh, we said it for years, Jim. All this stuff that you're hearing with business stuff, I've heard it for years internally, right? We've had no way of putting it out there. So
well, the whole basic social media side of things is all Joel. It's all you.
A little bit, but
it wasn't around before. It was the initiative.
Yeah, well, we lacked in that severely.
You basically created the job for yourself.
Well, in that regards for that, I wanted to get out of doing documents and compliance, so I had to do something. No, but it was more the stuff that you hear in the videos and the podcast. I heard for 8 years, and I thought, why can't we, do that? Because the story of gyms is so much about everything's based on this book, and then it's based about all the franchisees over the years who have built the company. So, how do we, share that? It's the best way to do it, and it gets people to know Jim better. I know people prior to doing this may have thought, never hear from you, right? So every week you can come on your concerns or tell us what's going on. Then Wade's saying thanks for the bear. Ava loves the bear, which is great. And we got a video message.
Yes, I know from Ava. Yeah, we saw that. I saw that. Very cute.
And then Wade's going, are there any more thoughts on gifting me a franchise, Jim?
Gifting you a franchise.
Now, depends where you are, because you're in Western Sydney. Do we have any divisions in Western Sydney? Because you do own some regions.
What do you want?
What do you want, Wade? Put it in there. What do you want?
Put it in there.
If you don't become a Jim's franchise, Wade,
if we want somebody bad enough, we'll usually find some way of getting you a franchise.
There we go, Wade. So
you might get vendor terms or something like that, but surely we can do something.
Bit of a burly bloke, Wade. I reckon you look like a fencer or a mowing guy to me. I reckon you'd be a bit more handy in those ones. I reckon. And then he's gone here. How's any update on Jimda? I haven't got Jimda going at the moment. Jimda, like a Tinder version for Jim, called it Jimda. And then Taylor Alcott's gone, I cannot wait to not need third-party programs. It is a great app to use, and I found it would be great to have additional team members. Yeah, team members is another one as well. You had that request?
What's that team member?
Having additional team members within the app where you can send jobs to.
Yeah.
So because a lot of our franchisees have crews working with them. So
look, our aim is eventually to have everything. We want payment portals. We want accounting systems. We want really a very wide range of stuff all in a single app. Because we're not like people who do apps are in the position of getting a lot of different people to use them. And pay them money. We're not after that. We're after you being as franchisees having so much incredible value that you'll want to stay with us forever. And we will make this available to outsiders too, but for a price. Because it's very expensive. We spend millions and millions of dollars on development of software. But the basic thing is we want to make it available to our franchisees.
That's it. And Frank's gone, his Home Fresh currently looking for a new courier in the Horsham area, so we'll keep him posted, absolutely. And Wade's gone, he deserves
Home Fresh is more to do with the warehousing. That's the issue. You need somebody who's got that kind of the warehouse or got the ability to set it up. We would love to do it across the country. It's been a fantastic division.
Absolutely. And then Maddie Mash is going, this is an interesting question. When do you give a refund when the franchisor fails the franchisee? We have never had that question before. It's a good question.
Well, it depends exactly in what way they fail. If there's a clear breach, for example, we've had cases where the franchisee's been signed without having the document for 2 weeks. Well, all that happens is the franchisee gets to me and says, I want my money back. This is what's happened. I look at it, I check it out, and I write to the franchisor and say, give them their money back. We had one case, other cases too, where somebody was actually a bin cleaning franchise and they bought it, but they didn't have the equipment provided by the franchisor
Yeah, I remember that.
for like 2 or 3 months, and the guy basically went broke. And again, I said to the franchisor, that's a gross breach. So if it's a very clear picture like that, it doesn't take a lawyer there or anything. It just takes contact me and I get the money back. On the other hand, when you talk about failing, you might have you've got 20 franchisees in a region, all 19 are doing well and one's actually failing completely badly, won't listen to the franchisor, won't do what they say, has lousy customer service, whatever the problem is. And then the franchisee says, my franchisor is failing me. Well, I don't think so. Your franchisor is doing everything reasonable to help you. So it depends on the circumstances.
It's all based on circumstance. So thanks for that question, Matt. We've never had that one before. It's a good one. Then Aaron's going here. Jim, can we see the comments for a price survey? Question mark. Can they see the comments for a price survey? So when you turn it into a P rating, do the comments disappear or?
No, the only thing I take out is the actual comment. So if it has like 1 star and P, it's clearly they meant price is the issue. So what I'll do is I'll change it to price and I'll clear out the P itself.
Right.
So I don't take anything that's relevant. If the comment says something like an outrageous price charge 3 times what anybody else did, 1 star, I will leave the comment in and change it to P.
I get you now. Right.
But I don't take out any information. The only information I would take out is something that's obviously in there. It's like somebody says 5 stars, which they often do. I'll delete that and put the 5 stars. If they say great job 5 stars, I might delete the 5 stars. I'll leave the great job in.
There we go. So thanks a lot, Aaron. That's a good question, and thanks for coming out as well. Jane Rogers has gone. Thank you, Jim, for changing our rating. So Jane, that's a first-time commenter from Jane Rogers.
You're welcome.
Thank you for changing the rating. Then Steve Durran, evening all. Got the gym's uniforms this week. Brent Davenport was working me hard, but loving the training. Brent does a great job as a fencer and trainer. Hope everyone is having a great week and work is picking up for everyone. So
absolutely,
Steve's going to be
and we are so looking forward to you getting going and taking some of those unserviced leads.
He's doing a new fencing franchise.
Oh yes.
I can imagine he's working you hard. Maybe there, Steve. It's not a. I think you had a colorbond fence or something.
It's not an easy job fencing, but it's a very lucrative one. Great business.
I think it's a good one. You get there and you build something from start.
I cannot comprehend why we don't have more fences. It's such a good division. There's so much work. It's well paid. It's brilliant business. They don't even take many leads because once they get a job, they tend to get the neighbours and down the street and stuff. So it's phenomenal business.
Then Taylor Alcock's got a question for Jim. Why do you call the people employed by you staff instead of team? Having seen the way they work together, would it not be better to call them the team or individually team members? Just a thought.
Well, possibly. Though actually, I prefer the word family rather than team. If you're going to use another word, it's like in this book I was reading. It's called Lab Rats, something that I was just finished listening to and reading and talking about. We're a team, not a family, and team means that you can exploit somebody and be really hard on them. I'd rather think of gyms as being a family where it's not just what people contribute. We value people for themselves too. And, you've got a staff member who's having a really hard time. They're not just a member of the team. There's something more than that, especially if they've been with us for a while.
Yeah, I'm the black sheep of the family, Taylor, so I'm just sitting over in the corner there. Then Tracy Lambert's gone, hi. That's a good point, though. We haven't had that one before, and that's a good question. Tracy Lambert's gone, hi, Jim and Joel. Tracy from Jim's Dog Wash, currently training a new franchisee, Caitlin Talese, in Wollongong. Can't say that name in Wollongong. She's doing a fantastic job. That's great.
Good.
So new franchisees. So our franchisees do train other new franchisees and upskill them and all that sort of stuff. And it's a new one coming on board. So
and often where we get our franchisors from is those people start as a franchisee and become a trainer.
Yes.
And they show others. And the people who enjoy doing that the most are the ones we particularly look for if we want to get somebody up through the system.
I know they do get paid for it, but the trainers, I think they enjoy it as well, don't they? They might have someone out there that changes their day up and they can talk about things, and I think it's a good one.
Well, sometimes they don't even get paid, actually. Depends on the division. I think dog wash does because you can't have more than one person washing a dog. But in mowing, the trainers don't get paid. They just have somebody comes around with them. And often these guys will spend...
And they give good feedback too. They will have the selection process, right? So they might go to the franchisor.
So if they go to the franchisor and say this person's not suitable, or they'll advise to put the prospect themselves, then that's an important role. Or if they've got a bad attitude towards customer service. But then the trainers very often have become a sort of secondary mentor. So the trainees will actually ring the trainer.
Yeah.
And a trainer will spend like half an hour in the evening just giving them advice and stuff. No charge at all. And those guys are the ones we look at and say, hey, what about becoming a franchisor?
And we appreciate all the franchisees who train and do a great job of it as well. Then Wade Aston's got, my missus is rolling her eyes as how highly I am regarded. We hold you in high regard, Wade. You can say that as well. Then Wade's gone, dog wash or mowing, Jim?
Do you like dogs or do you like gardens?
What about dog mowing? I don't know, dog mowing, dog. You can combine the two.
What do you love? What do you love doing? That's the really the biggest thing. I would not be a dog wash person. I don't mind dogs, but I'm not crazy about dogs. But I love gardens. So to me, it's an obvious thing. And if I wasn't doing gardening, it would be something like tree lopping or something outside for sure.
And then Wade's gone, my fiance seems to think I get prizes for you guys to shut me up. maybe we do. Steve Beck's gone, Jim, do you pay for the pizza at Bible study?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's $120. It's nothing.
It's a bit of money, $120. That's more than what you feed when you go with your family. Didn't you say $50?
Well, there's usually 12 of us.
12 of us, right. Just going to say.
It's good. I like it. We get together, we have a bit of a joke and we pray for each other and stuff. It's a good group. I enjoy that. That Christian fellowship is wonderful.
And then Steve Durrant's gone, can I be more highly regarded than Wade Aston? Absolutely, Steve. Just keep doing your thing on social media and promoting yourself. And
especially ask interesting questions. We love the offbeat questions.
The more, yeah, exactly. The more questions in here, Steve, you can. The more
peculiar they are. The more interesting. The more off the beat. Yeah.
That's right.
Good ones tonight. I think they get better with time. Actually.
That's true. We're through these last 4 comments, guys. So Jane Rogers, is Jim's fresh only in Vic, and how would it work in New South Wales region areas? Would they work for the Sydney markets instead?
It would work brilliantly in New South Wales. We just need the right person. So if you've got some capital or you've got a warehouse or something in there, they'll teach you how to do it. The whole thing. It's a very simple system. They buy from the market. They're a great bunch, Frank and Shanko.
And Frank's responded to Jane as well in there, which is great.
So I got a friend from school actually who's done very well in business, and I put him onto them and I said, look, talk to this guy. If you want somebody, it's a brilliant business to go into.
There we go. Then Wade Austin's gone, I love the shirt. Muscles frames the abs spectacular. I've got no abs, it's more flab. Don't worry about that. It hides it. The black's a good slimming
Well,
colour.
when we get our sporting complex, you've got no excuses. You're going to be as fit like Hercules. That's right.
We'll see how it goes.
No more poking fun at you.
Yeah,
you'll be
no more,
so
no
toned
more bullying.
and fit.
No more on-air bullying. Then Damien Paport's gone, I admire your vision with Jim regards the CRM application that other services to franchisees to incorporate payment, invoicing jobs, payroll, etc. You're a winner and your franchisees will benefit via efficiencies.
Yes, they will.
Then car detailing is what Wade likes, so absolutely do car detailing. If you like cars, car detailing, Wade is the one.
It's a good business. It's a great business and good regular client base too.
And here we go, Matty Mash. I'll get into this question real quick then to Aaron's. He's gone, so there should be remuneration for a franchisor sending flyers into the wrong area. That's this question, remember that one about franchisor with the fees? Saying franchisor was sending flyers into the wrong area. I don't know how that works.
No, I know what that means.
Email Jim@jims.net.
Tell me what you mean.
Yeah,
I can't tell. Obviously, you're not supposed to. If you're putting flyers with your phone number into somebody else's territory, that's a very serious offence because you're breaching territory rights.
Email Jim@Jims, Matty. That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
And Aaron's saying, time to wrap this up, Jim. We need dinner. Absolutely. And if you've watched this and we're holding you back about your dinner, we apologise. Now, thanks to everyone who watched. We had great numbers tonight. Everyone was an awesome night for questions and interaction. We really do thank you for your time. And next week, again at 7 o'clock, spread the word, leave some questions and comments. And we've got a few book winners here, so I've got to have to DM some people after this, and we've got some work to do as well. So thanks, guys. We'll leave it there.